everybody. This is Sean Speaks. Let's consider the lessons the natural world may teach us about subtle power shifts as we commemorate Juneteenth today. This day honors African American, Black, Neji independence in a society structure we didn't create. Similar to how the insect uses its near invincibility to survive, or how the lion blends in with the golden savanna, minor changes in our society's language, actions, and narratives can profoundly impact whether we thrive or just survive in our environment. These effects are as significant and potent as the lion's stealthy hunt or the mosquito's unnoticeable bite. On the 19th of June in 1865, U.S. Major General Gordon Granger delivered General Order Number 3, announcing the liberation of all enslaved individuals in Texas. 2.5 years had passed since President Abraham Lincoln's historic Emancipation Proclamation when this important declaration was issued. The word Juneteenth, a combination of June and 19th, was created as a result of the observance of this date. It is also known as Freedom Day or Emancipation Day, and it is the first recorded occasion to commemorate the end of slavery in the United States. However, it is crucial to acknowledge that the end of slavery did not immediately usher in a period of justice and equality for African Americans. In fact, the harsh reality is that the mistreatment and brutalization of Black Americans intensified after Freedom Day. Notably, there was a significant increase in the number of lynchings of Black people by white individuals post-emancipation compared to prior. Juneteenth reminds us of the resilience and spirit of African Americans and our unbending will for freedom. In honor of this day, we'll explore two critical instances where language has played a pivotal role in shaping societal narratives that help to craft this freedom we live in: the evolution of the term woke and the transition from the African American movement to the civil rights movement. Woke, a term deeply rooted in the African American community, once served as a rallying cry for awareness about social injustices. As a kid in my community, I remember hearing that term to describe conscious Black Americans who stood against systematic injustices. It emerged in my community as a call to stay vigilant against systematic racism. However, as Aja Romano pointed out in her 2020 article, Stay Woke, how a Black activist watchword got co-opted in the culture war. The term has been co-opted and weaponized, shifting from a beacon for social justice to a derogatory label. This term woke, which originated within the Black community, has been appropriated and reinvented by various groups across the political spectrum, sometimes straying far from its original context. A term that was once employed to denote awareness about social and racial justice issues within the Black community, woke has been co-opted and used in ways that undermine its initial significance. For example, the phrase has been repurposed by conservatives to denote a sort of liberal fanaticism or overemphasis on political correctness. This is best illustrated by looking at the world of religion. Some church leaders have constructed billboards with inscriptions like "No Limits Church," where Jesus ain't woke, using their tax-exempt monies to do so. This strategy used in areas like Houston, where billboards read "The church woke, awake," with a red slash through the word woke. Conversely, some white liberals have also used the term woke in ways that frequently misunderstand its original intent and meaning. It can occasionally be used superficially or for show, lacking real commitment to the problems at hand. For instance, some businesses may use woke marketing tactics to highlight their woke policies or products without actually making a difference in the struggle for racial equality, a tactic known as performative wokeness or woke washing. In both cases, the term woke, which was once a significant symbol of the Black community's fight for justice and equality, has been appropriated and altered, taking it out of its intended context and use. This transition stands as a powerful example of how sometimes this language shift occurs so subtly and so swiftly that we almost forget that it doesn't mean what we are now hearing the language to mean. I recently learned that the civil rights movement was known as the African American movement. This revelation highlighted a subtle but significant shift in a word usage that happened without many Black people's conscious awareness of its perpetual effect. A shift from a movement centered on the specific struggles of the African American community to a more broadly defined struggle for civil rights. This name shift, as it was occurring in the past, may not at first glance seem like a big deal, and it wasn't very abrupt. It was subtle shifts in the name change. This transition in name subtly diluted the distinct focus on African American struggles, one of the most critical being the need for awareness and understanding of one's own history. The fact that I was oblivious to this name change illustrates the power and the danger of such subtle alterations. By shifting the name and focus, one of the movement's central tenets, the advancement of the African American community at large, was unintentionally sidelined, and with it, some of the essence of the movement's original intent. This word transformation created a ripple effect in the application, altering societal perspectives and shaping the allocation of resources. The fight for justice and equality, originally centered on the African American community, was subtly expanded to include various civil rights issues. As a result, the African American community's specific struggles and unique historical context risked being overshadowed and was, in certain instances, overshadowed. This demonstrates the profound influence of language and terminology and how subtle word changes and definitions can have far-reaching implications. Affirmative action, undoubtedly an outgrowth of the civil rights movement, was primarily designed to confront and rectify the racial biases Black people confronted in employment. Over time, however, the scope of these laws expanded, coming to protect not just Black people, but also people of color and women more broadly. While extending these protections to more groups is a step in the right direction toward promoting diversity and equality in America, it is essential to watch out that the intended beneficiaries, in this case, the Black community, are not unintentionally left out or overlooked. Similarly to the sneaky lion or the nearly undetectable mosquito, these tiny yet potent changes in our society language and narratives can profoundly impact our environments. We can slowly begin to become excluded from our own identities. When we primarily allow external imaginations to shape our narratives, we stand on the precipice of losing our unique identities and the power they hold. The crucial question here is, does our freedom only exist when it aligns with the interests of the dominant political forces in America? Is our liberty at risk at being taken away when it ceases to benefit these two major factions? Are we truly woke only if it doesn't provoke Republicans or serve Democrats? These are vital questions we must introspectively confront. Is our survival solely dependent on the equilibrium of America's two warring political tribes? As we navigate this evolving landscape, it's clear that old systems are fading and new ones are emerging. In the face of such change, who do we choose to be? Which side do we align ourselves with? Or do we find the courage to form our own team and to craft our own unique narratives? Adopting external words and narratives without thinking critically can gradually erode our inner strength and reduce our power. This realization is a call to be conscious of the subtle yet powerful changes happening around us through wordplay. It's about claiming our power and ensuring our stories aren't lost or diluted in the shifting sands of time. It's about ensuring that we aren't prey devoured by camouflage predators or friendly enemies. As we commemorate Juneteenth in whatever way is special to you, let this message serve as a reminder of the urgency to reclaim our narratives, words, and power. This Juneteenth, let's acknowledge our past, understand the power dynamics of the present, and reshape the narratives that will define our future. Let's resist the camouflage predators of our social lexicon and remain vigilant, much like the prey that must evade the hidden lion or the unnoticeable mosquito. We can be inclusive, but not so inclusive that in helping others, we exclude ourselves. I will end with a poem entitled Juneteenth in My Soul. Juneteenth in my soul. I don't bow to much nowadays, but today I bow to you. You who are my ancestors, you who endured the slave labor camps, you who endured barbaric and torturous treatment for no reason other than the color of your skin and their greed. You who fought for my right to be an American, although you had no choice in coming here. You who even now fight just to take a jog and not be hunted, just to sit in a car and not be shot, just to drive down the highway and not be killed, just to take a knee in the fight against racial injustice and not be fired, just to fall asleep in your car and not be murdered. And of course, you who were the last to know that the label slave was no longer yours to bear. You are our superheroes, and through us, you will always live. I bow to you in honor. I bow to you in love. I bow to you with the greatest respect I know to give. I am unashamed. I love you for your endurance. I admire you for your resilience. I thank you for those genetics coursing through my veins. I shout Juneteenth in the streets. I shout Juneteenth wherever I go. I boldly tell everybody that Juneteenth lives within my soul. Juneteenth in my soul, Juneteenth in my soul. Happy Juneteenth. This is Sean Speaks, and remember, brain health is mental wealth.